Are you looking for a few ideas for a fun Christmas-themed event for your youth group? Then stick around because that's what we're talking about today on the Ministry Coach podcast.
Hello and welcome to the Ministry Coach podcast, where we bring you weekly tips and tactics to help you fast track the growth and health of your youth ministry. My name is Jeff Lascola. This is
Kristen Lascola.
And today we have a couple exciting things for you, a little different. Why don't you tell us a little bit about them?
Okay, so you might be thinking it's a little early for Christmas. No, it's not.
No, Home Depot and Lowe's and Walmart, they all think we're
I thought
late.
you were about to yell at me.
No.
Like, no. I was like, Jeff, we talked about this. Like,
we were going to do a Christmas episode. What are you talking about?
Yeah. So, okay, we have 3 ideas for you for a Christmas-themed youth event. And
it's never too early to start planning, right?
Well, yeah. And I would say a big portion of the success of any event comes down to promotion and marketing and preparation and dotting I's and crossing T's. And as youth pastors, we're actually sometimes a little guilty, myself included, of waiting till the last minute. And our events can be a lot better sometimes if we had just had more time. So now you can start thinking about these events, promoting them, and coming up with logos, all kinds of fun stuff. And Jeff and I,
as our gift to you,
early Christmas gift, guys, we're going to release some of our never before seen, horrendously embarrassing bloopers for when we record the podcast. So if you're listening on Spotify or Apple or whatever, then
you'll be able to hear them, which is cool.
I would bounce over to YouTube.
Yeah.
If you're not one of our YouTube people, this is the episode to just make the switch. Fast forward to the end if you don't want to watch us talking and stuff like that. But go to the Ministry Coach podcast on YouTube and you're welcome in advance.
They're bad. We do it a lot, but that's okay.
And I'm a little nervous of what you're going to put in there because there's been some incriminating stuff.
There's been so many bloopers. I feel like it only makes sense to go chronologically. So this is going to go all the way back to the beginning. And maybe this will become a thing. We'll just start putting them in at the end. If you guys like it, we can continue to do it because I feel like there's a never-ending supply of bloopers. So Merry Christmas, early Christmas gift. All right. So you were saying marketing, planning, things like that for events. How many times would you say that you were at an event or you've had an event planned and you think, if only I had one more hour, one more day, one more week or whatever.
And I'm scrambling and I'm printing stuff out and cutting it out. And I'm like, oh, I could have ordered this or you think of something that you wish you would have ordered on Amazon, but now it's too late or something like that. So, I'm going to give you 3 events and I'm going to start with the most prep heavy one and the most intricate one while your brain is still working with us. And then I'm going to give you 2 that are a little easier to pull off more. You could do them last minute or you could really go all out, not last minute, but they don't need quite as much preparation. So the first one we're going to talk about this is one I did last year for the first time and it went excellent. So it was called a murder mystery Christmas party. And it was do murder and Christmas go together? No, but it was really fun. So maybe you've attended a murder mystery party before or have just seen them on social media or whatever. Well, we did our very own with our entire youth group. And I think you could pull this off no matter what size your youth group is. We had a fairly large number come, probably about 150, and it still worked. And I thought, if I only had 20 kids, I think it would still work too. So modify it to fit your size. But here's the first few steps. So number 1, you want to get a logo for the event. And so our whole theme centered around Great Gatsby, 20s, that kind of flavor. And so I had actually outsourced to get a really cool black and gold Great Gatsby looking logo with our ministry name on it. It really wasn't expensive. It was awesome. And I could put it on social media. I could put it on flyers. I could put it on all kinds of stuff. So I got our logo and that had the date on it. So I picked our date, named the event, put our youth group name, and that was step 1. I had our date, time, all that ready to go. And then the next step is I told all my leaders what we were doing because the leaders are a very integral part of this. So I told the leaders, here's what I need you guys to do is get a costume, something 20s-ish, order something on Amazon. And I gave them a few examples. Sometimes people are like, what are you talking about? And they don't have to like spend a lot of money. All I did was get like a little one of those hats with like the nets and then like gloves, and I wore a dress. A lot of our guys wore like a little fedora with suspenders and a suit that they already had.
And one more reason to do it early is to give people time to get something cool.
Exactly. And that's what I was going to say. Your leaders are going to need time. If they're anything like mine, love you guys, but they do need time to get their stuff together. Yeah. And then once they had their attire, I said, send me a black and white picture, like a selfie, just of your face, like looking tough, like just kind of like a smug look or whatever, because every single leader is a suspect. And so they can't be like smiling, but like my leaders like would give like these mean glares. If you go to Chaos JH and you can like just scroll back to December and you can see their pictures, and awesome. They nailed it. Oh my gosh. Like just look, it's like this sequence of all black and white photos of my leaders, and you'll kind of see what I mean by that. That's Chaos JH on Instagram. So so you want to give them enough time to get all that together. And then you're going to start, as you get closer to the event, you're going to, post the logo, kind of start talking about it. And then when you get really close, you can start posting those photos and introducing each leader.
Did you already mention that you give them nicknames?
Oh, yeah. So if you want, you can like give them nicknames. So like,
or they can give themselves nicknames.
Yeah. Like Jailbird Jeff, or like some kind of like criminal name. So you think of like, it's like Godfather, it's Mafia, it's Gatsby, it's like all of that together. So then here's some things you need to prepare for the night of. So we just happen to have a red carpet at our church. I don't know who purchased it or why, but we have one. So you could kind of call around, see if anyone has one in your town that you could borrow. So we had like a red carpet and a backdrop. So I just ordered a backdrop on Amazon. It was black with like gold, like glitter. I think it was like for New Year's or something. And we put that up, and as kids were coming in, and the kids dress up too. That's why you want to post those pictures early so the kids start to get the vibe of what they're supposed to wear. And my kids even, they looked so good. They were in like all kinds of cute stuff. I think those pictures might be on my Instagram too, but anyways, so the kids come in, they have the red carpet, and then I had a photographer, like I paid him, I think just like $50 or something, and was like, hey, could you come and take pictures of the kids as they come in to make it feel more official? And he's like, yeah, sure. So definitely you need to plan ahead budget wise. And if there's anything I'm talking about that you're like, oh, you don't have enough money for that, toss it out. You don't have to use everything, or borrow something. Like, there's so many people in your church that might have something that you can
Or the
use.
tried and true, ask for someone to donate it.
Yeah, totally. And then the kids come in, they're getting their pictures done. And then we had some of my students who were on my leadership team. I got them those like tuxedo t-shirts and these like flimsy silver platters from Dollar Tree, and had hors d'oeuvres, and they would like walk around and they would like offer people stuff. Cause like junior hires have never been to a fancy party before. So like I made the hors d'oeuvres like so junior high. Like I got cupcake wrappers, you buy them in the baking section, and I filled them with flaming hot Cheetos. And so like they would just take like one little thing of flaming hot Cheetos, or I went to Costco and the Pop-Tarts were like dirt cheap. And so I would like cut them up in fours, and like you got a little thing of Pop-Tarts, Oreos, maybe a little cup with Sprite in it or something like that. So it was supposed to feel fancy. People were mingling, and the whole time they're taking pictures, they're having hors d'oeuvres, and we have this awesome playlist going of Great Gatsby, Godfather. Like it's just setting the mood. So then when we were going to get started, I just went on YouTube and typed in Just Dance the Charleston. And so all the kids are facing the screen and they're following the movements of, if you've ever done Just Dance, they're following the movements of the Charleston. And that was just kind of a fun, like, I don't think we're going to ever have like a dance at church, but that was kind of like the next funnest thing. Like we're all dancing, we're all doing the same moves. The music was so fun. And then the night kind of took a dark turn, right? So then we bring down the lights and we have the music, and then you go and you tell a scenario. So whatever leader you've picked to be the victim, you want to build a story around them without revealing the killer. So my leader, it was this girl, and she was like working in both ministries, and we built this story of like she was working with the 4th and 5th grade, and she's working with junior high, and we'd had enough because we wanted her all to ourselves or something, and then we like like the lights flash and we see her on the stage and she's, dead. So here's how the game starts is the students, depending on how many you have, we did it in teams, which were their small groups. So the small group is your team. If you're really small, you could do like every man for himself, or you could like pair them up in 2s or 3s or something like that. So it worked really well for us to do small groups. And while I was explaining the rules to the students, the leaders went out and hid. They hid outside, they hid in the church, and they had clues with them. So the students had to go out, find a leader, and that leader would give them a riddle. That riddle would lead them to a location in the church, and on that location, they would find a number. The number corresponds to a letter of the alphabet. So like A is 1, B is 2, blah, blah, blah. And that revealed the name of the killer. So here's a little twist. Some of the leaders are decoys, and they will give you false information. So every leader has a clue to give. So if I was if I was like a decoy, I would give you a clue with a riddle. That riddle would lead you to a location. In that location, you would find a note that says, "Gotcha, sucker," or like something like that. You can make it say whatever you want. And that kind of gets the game to go a little longer, and it trips them up so that it's a little more complex. And you don't tell them off the bat, the numbers correspond to the letters, see if they can figure that out. I mean, depending like high school and junior high, that's a very big gap. The junior hires did figure it out eventually. But here's one dumb tax I will save you is so when they made it to the location after they solved the riddle, they took all the numbers. I'm like, you're supposed to take one and leave the rest for the other groups. They're like, I have all these 4s. What do I do? I'm like, you're supposed to take one and then go to the next location. So definitely specify that in the rules. Like when you make it there, don't take all the clues. That's for everyone. And then they weren't trying to sabotage. I mean, I guess that could have been a strategy. But anyways, it was so fun. So once the first group to come and tell us, it was Netta. No, I think we had Andrea. It was Drea. She was the killer. We were like, yeah, good job. And then they all got a prize. And then if you want to end the night by doing another just dance to bring everyone together, bring the hors d'oeuvres back out, depending how much time you have. That's a really good way to do it.
How long did that game last, give or take?
By the time you explain it and all of that, I mean, it was probably like 20 minutes. Okay. And then,
Which is a pretty typical game time.
Yeah, it was. But, all the front end stuff, like the pictures and the hors d'oeuvres and the dance and all that, like explaining it, I mean, plan on like 45 minutes to do this. So, I mean, if you want to do a message that night, if you want to still incorporate some Christmas worship or something, you depending how long your program is, you would have other time. I don't think we had any extra time, really. It took quite a while, but this is one of those that theming is everything. Decorate, get black and gold, like make it really fun with music and all of that. Okay, so number 2, this one we've done many years in a row and it always works really well. So it would be like an Oscars event, and all the videos come from the students and the leaders if you want, and small groups. But basically you think of categories. So categories maybe that the Oscars would use, like best actor, best actress, most creative, most original, best comedy, whatever. And you tell students, small groups, leaders, whatever, submit a video in the form of a reel, TikTok or something like that. It used to be Vine, but that similar idea. Or they could just film it on their phone. They don't have to use an app. They could just film like a 30-second video and send it to you.
So they're sending it to you. They're not posting it for everybody to see.
So they give it to you first, and then you come up with the winners.
And that way you can kind of check and make sure everything's appropriate too.
Exactly. So like on that night, everyone would come. And the best thing is it has to be Christmas themed. This is a Christmas video or a Christmas episode. So you do it Christmas themed and you say, all right, category comedy. And then you show all those videos and then you come up, maybe you're wearing a gown or a tux or something like that. And, you say the nominees for best comedy are Rockin' Around the Christmas Tree by Hannah and Maya's group, and the winner is, and have them in envelopes, have the music, have the whole thing. And then when you announce the winner, because of course, ahead of time who it is, you have them come up and they give an acceptance speech and you can give them a little prize of your choosing. We used to give like a gift certificate to our snack shack, something like that. Because that was easy. We weren't really losing money on that. And so this is a very budget friendly event. Like you really don't spend any money. The Great Gatsby event was a little more involved, but this one, all of the entertainment comes from the students. They love seeing themselves, these fun Christmas themed videos. And what I like to do, especially with junior high, is kind of break it up a little bit. Cause like the 6th and 7th graders get a little tired of sitting there. It's like, we went to youth group and all we did was sit there the whole time. So you can like in between categories, like everybody stand up and like we talked about in the previous game, going to like Just Dance. So doing Just Dance Christmas themed songs. And I always walk around with like a bucket of candy. I'm like, if you're dancing really good, I'm going to give you candy. And the kids just like go like crazy. And I'm like, yeah, I'm like giving them candy. And then I'll go to the next kid. If they're just like sitting there with their arms folded, they don't get any candy, right? So it really gets everyone excited and participate. And then it's like, all right, everyone take a seat. Our next category is most original or most creative. Here are the videos. So that kind of mixes up the energy so it doesn't hit this like, I think a really good category, if you work with junior hires especially, is cringy Christmas.
I feel like they probably would all fall.
I knew you were going to say that, Jeff. I'm 2 steps ahead of you. And just, you can save this category for maybe that kid who like, what are you even doing? But you're like, I can't not show it because you're going to, but it's like, you just cringy Christmas.
I put my heart and soul into that video and you put it under cringeworthy.
Yeah. So, I mean,
that's actually, you bring up a good point. Not really, but in my head, you brought up a good point. So good job.
You're welcome.
One of the reasons why this is a good one to plan well in advance is to make sure you have enough videos to make it worth like the whole night's worth.
Okay. So great point on that. If you don't.
It was your point in my head. You said it, but didn't say it.
Maybe I've told you this before. So leaders, if you need to pad these categories because you're like, we're not getting any submissions, go nuts with your leaders or tell your leaders to submit them. Leaders, especially mine, they're always down to make a video, to be in a video, to like do something so funny. So pad it with leaders. Or I've done one with a student. I had a student who she was just kind of like, she didn't like know what to do, but she wanted to participate. And her and I reenacted this scene from camp where this rat bit her and I was the rat. And like, I put this little rat mask on and I like bit her hand. I'm like, ah, and it was so funny. And so you could like just partner up with one of those kids and be like, let's do something, So if you even want to get the ball rolling, you could post a couple or show a few on like youth group night and like start to get the kids excited. Like maybe use them as promos because then they'll see them and be like, oh, I got an idea or I want to do that or that looks so funny. So yeah, that's the Instagram Oscars. Super fun.
Yeah, I remember you doing those and some of the videos were hilarious. Like a super fun event.
Yeah, it is. It's just a good casual fun night, Christmas theme. Good stuff. So, okay, then our third and final one. This is also really low cost, low planning on your part one. And this is a one that, again, I've done for years and it's super fun. So it's, as far as I know, I'm the only one who does this, a Christmas costume contest. So it's kind of like you combine Halloween and Christmas.
Do you have to call it like Harvest Christmas extravaganza?
Don't say Halloween at church. It's naughty words. Well, I think we just say Oh, I know what we say.
It was C3 or something like that.
No, that was our
C's.
Halloween.
Oh,
that was Halloween. It was Christmas character contest or something. I don't know what it was called.
It's 3 C's. What do you know? You don't branch out much with your naming team.
I'm not good at naming stuff. By the way, I just caught a glimpse of us in the monitor and we look like we're ready for a family photo shoot in blue. Like,
yay!
Let's be so matchy today.
It's wintry, even though we're filming this in October.
True. Maybe we should have dressed like Santa or something. Okay, so this one's pretty basic and I love it. You really don't have to spend any money for this one. Is you have everyone come dressed as a Christmas character, a Christmas item, or something Christmas themed. So it's a big Christmas costume contest. So they might come, like they're going to be like, what do you mean? And so give them some ideas. We've had students dress as Cindy Lou Who, which was adorable. Elves. We had a big gift. There was a kid who came as a present, kid who comes as a Christmas tree. One of my favorites was this girl came dressed as a candle. She like painted her face yellow and was in like a white robe. It was just like, what even are you? It was hilarious.
This is one of those that at first you think, this is going to be impossible. Like, that's too hard. And then when you start thinking about it, there's a lot of options and they can get really creative.
Yeah, like candy canes. We've had kids come as ornaments. The angel or, Mary.
Snow, anything wintry or,
like a sugar plum fairy. Like you start to like go and you're like, oh, there are a ton of things. So basically you're having like a Christmas party and you could do whatever you want. Like, we played a couple Christmas games. We had, food and Christmas music. We had pictures with Santa, which was really, really fun. And then we would have people vote throughout the night. So students would fill out a card, like write who they thought, and they would put it in a thing. Now, here's my thing with voting is leaders always can override it. So there's one year where it was like this really popular kid. He was dressed cool, but not like amazing. And then there was this less popular kid who his grandpa helped him build this thing. Yeah. He looked unbelievable and he didn't win. And I'm like, I see what's going on here. So
it's a popularity.
Exactly.
Vote.
So if you agree with your students and you're like, well done, you guys actually voted for the best one, way to go. If you're like, I see what you guys did, not going to let it happen, then you just fudge it. And I said, and our winner is this guy. And I let who I felt the true winner, win.
Right.
And so here's kind of a fun thing. So you take the top 3 to 5 or whatever, and we always make them do a catwalk and show their outfit. So they come up and we say like, all right, these are our final contestants, like the top 5, maybe the top 10, you can choose. And then you put on like some fun music. I always want to do Right Said Fred, I'm Too Sexy, but it's inappropriate.
Yeah, a little bit.
Because I love that song. It's
maybe there's
so
a Christmas
funny.
version of it out there. They did so many variations of it.
Well, the part where he goes, I'm a model, like
it's the ultimate catwalk.
Yes, it's perfect. And then
parody song.
Yeah, but the word sexy is probably not good. So
probably not good.
It's not, but it's so funny. Okay, so you find like some kind of fun, upbeat song, and they like have to walk to the end of the stage and like do a pose, turn around, and it's hilarious. And everyone's like cheering and laughing. And then you give prizes probably like to the top 3, maybe the biggest prize to the like first winner, first place.
That's what it's called.
The
first runner up for first place is.
So yeah, that one, the event, you're just going to probably need to add some stuff to it, but the big portion of it can be the costume contest. And those are our 3 Christmas theme party ideas for your youth group.
And now For your listening and viewing pleasure, enjoy some of the worst parts of the ministry, or maybe best parts. You be the judge. A Ministry Coach podcast, some bloopers and outtakes. Hey!
Oh.
Thanks for watching, and we'll see you guys next time. Hey, thank you for joining us. This is episode 1 of hopefully many more episodes to come. There's gonna be a lot of outtakes. 3. How's my shine? Need more caffeine, I think. This is actually the second part of a 2-part series.
I don't know.
Hey, episode.
Hey, episode.
Hey,
this
episode
is everybody.
4.
Hey, episode 4.
This is everybody.
This is everybody. Boopity boop boop boop. But like, seriously?
Every time I start that.
Wow.
You guys. Okay. Okay. Dang. Okay. No. Wow. Yeah, that's good stuff. That's so bad.
Wow.
Okay.
Erica, we have an order ready for Erica.
And if you guys are listening on a podcast, let's see if I can do this in one take.
Shoot.
To another episode of the Ministry Coach. Whose was that? Was that yours?
No.
I actually texted myself and you up.
It's a butt dial.
Let me make sure I turn that off.
Gordy, it's me, Gordy.
Here we go.
Let's hang out. Well, see you later. Big gulps, huh?